back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. How is everybody doing tonight? Very well, I hope. We have got a spicy show tonight. You know, it's gone down. Yes, Andrew Tate was arrested in Romania, but we got new details. But before we get into that, I want to give a thank you to the replay gang. Thank you for showing up, guys. I know you missed the live party. It's always better live, so make sure you hear every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and you will never miss a party unless, sometimes I decide to go live whenever I feel like it. So hit the subscribe button, and then you will never, ever, ever miss a party. I also, really quick, want to give a thank you to the sponsor of the stream, MySickShirt.com. Whatever your persuasion, they've got something for you. And of course, it is the only place to get your very own The Indian Jesus official merch. Only at MySickShirt.com. All right, so the news, the big news. I'm not going to bury the lead. The big news, 30 days for both the Tristan boys. 30 days at least. So what that means is that we know that there's something. Does not mean guilt of any kind. It doesn't mean anything except for the fact that the Romanian government has enough not only to question him and charge him and all of this stuff, but there's something there. Now, before we go into any of this, we've talked a lot about Andrew Tate on this channel, and I want to make it abundantly clear. that if any of these charges come to fruition, then obviously, I want the man put away. That being said, I have a long way to go before I am convinced that this isn't just exactly what he predicted was going to happen. So let's take a look at all of this stuff going on. The first thing I wanted to show you was how I figured out about all of this. Shout out to Jesse on Fire helping me out with this. We got a tweet here that's from Mario Narwolf that says, Andrew and Tristan Tate jailed for 30 days to ensure they do not escape as the investigation continues. No bail, but appeal possible. So this means there is significant evidence, and jail time is seeming more likely. They're looking up to 20 years. But again, this does not mean they are guilty. So there's going to be a bunch of different stuff that we're going to look at and see what everybody's saying and what's real and what's bullshit and Kirsten, getting him again. But so we're going to go through all of that. But I want to make sure again that we understand the reason that we are doing this is not because we are lovers of every single thing that Andrew Tate does. We are discussing this because this is a person who is relevant in culture. This is a person whose words shape the rest of our discussions. So whether you love him or hate him, that is irrelevant to this stream. So if you hate him, try to put that in the back of your mind. If you love him, try to put it in the back of your mind. That's not what we're trying to do. Figure out if you love him or hate him. We're trying to figure out what is really going on. In the early hours, 24, 48 hours of this stuff, it's very hard to get a good picture of accurate details of what actually went on. And so that's what I'm here for. So for those of you who missed the entire thing, we have my least favorite streamer of all time, actually did a good job of summarizing this up. So let's jump in and check it out from Lasanabi.
Understand, I'm on board with that kind of behavior. So what did Andrew Tate do in his endless trolling? He decided to at Greta Thunberg, okay, everyone's famous climate change activist, okay, doing the uplifting the Chinese conspiracy of climate change, which is not real, of course. And he said, hello, Greta Thunberg. I have 33 cars. My Bugatti has I'm not going to read all this, quad turbo. My two Ferrari 812 Competizione have 6.5 liters V12s. This is just the start.
He's actually got a pretty decent impression of Andrew Tate.
Please provide your email address so I can send a complete list of my car collection and their respective enormous emissions. Now, it's like very weird, especially from what we know about Andrew Tate, about how he likes bitches with purity.
I do agree. I'll let him.
That's why 19-year-old bitches are the sexiest bitches, is what he has said time and time again. It's like weird that he's like now asking a 19-year-old girl on the timeline what her email is. Like he's like, I need to contact you. Like that's very.
Yeah, that's the part that is a little weird to me. I don't know exactly how, like, what if she said something to start this. I don't really care about that part, but this is where it really begins with the him engaging with Greta. You know, I mean, again, this is the most searched man on the internet, and your decision to get into it with not only a 19-year-old, but a 19-year-old who you know is a darling of the big boys, not the American government, not the Romanian government, not the Twitter CEO, the big people, like the global and ists. Those type of people are the ones who are bankrolling the type of person that Greta Thunberg is. So knowing that, that's already like, okay, let's slow down here a little bit. But then you also have the fact that you're bragging about your cars to her. Like, bro, we know you're rich. Your whole catchphrase is Bugatti. We all know it. Why are you? This struck me as very, very odd. And please provide me your email so I can give you the rest of all of my cars. Now, I understand he's trolling, but this is just not a good troll job. He's typically a good troll, and this ain't it. This ain't it.
Very weird in and of itself. It's just an odd thing. It's just an odd thing to do, right? It's like,
I hate agreeing with Lasanabi.
Like, come on, look at my car collection, right? Expected, still weird. Typical, expected, but still weird, right? So he's like either trying to bully a 19-year-old on the timeline by being like, look at how many cars I have, right? Which, of course, got 148,000 likes. And then Greta turned around.
Which is sad in and of itself as well. What did he say? 148,000 people? Like, oh yeah, Top G just dunked on a teenager. Again, we are putting our love or hate for Andrew Tate aside at this party. What we are doing is trying to figure out what is going on, who is right, who is wrong, what is real, what is fake, and maybe a little more. But that's what we're focused on. Not do you like or do you hate Andrew Tate?
He's trolling. Yeah, I know he's trolling. I know, guys. I'm aware. He is just like incredibly desperate for attention, and he's just doing this. And then Greta turned around and said, yes, please do enlighten me. Email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com. This
so close to an epic troll on Greta's handlers. Sure, certainly. Well, actually, I don't know. A lot of people are like, oh, which globalist handler wrote this for you? As a 19-year-old, this is right as petty and also just off the mark as I would expect from a 19-year-old girl on Twitter. Like, obviously, what she was trying to say is that your email, Andrew Tate, would be smalldickenergy@getalife.com. And that is hilarious. But you said that it was your email. Just missed the mark.
This is so wrong. This is all wrong. I should be in school. That's what she said.
Oh, struggle straight already.
Okay. And that got 1.5 million likes, bro. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, this is kind of a cheesy comeback. Okay, but she is like 19 years old. You know what I mean? But god damn, bro, when you have a ratio this fucking astronomical, I gotta point it out. Like, it's cheesy, okay? It's cheesy. My lord.
Hey, we got True Dreamer TV in the building. Welcome. Said, what do you think about Kanye missing? I didn't know he was missing, and I'm not really talking about Kanye tonight. We are talking about Andrew Tate. I don't know if you heard, but the most searched man in the world was arrested and jailed. So maybe on a different day, we'll talk about that. Hey, we got No Freedoms in the building. What is good? Lion asks, well, who lied so far? Who lied? What are you talking about, bro? Ain't nobody lied yet. I mean, people definitely lied here, but not yet. But welcome, brother. Welcome.
Lord, did he get cumstered and dumpstered? Holy dude. People were making funny jokes saying, I can't believe Greta Thunberg claims to be an environmentalist, and here she is burning trash, that sort of stuff. It is impressive. So he turned around and hit him with a how dare you. Like, that's when you're so cooked. There's nothing you got. You got nothing left, okay?
How dare you?
You got nothing left at that point. You say, how dare you? Anyway,
And he's right. That's weak. That's weak ass shit. That's what every other Twitter bot would say to anything that she said. I'm sure every tweet that Greta puts out, 1 million people put that. You got put on blast by a 19-year-old girl as top G, and that's your response? Come on, bro.
I got in on it too. I said trying to beef with teenagers instead of adults and still losing is wild. I didn't even realize this shit had 82,000 likes. God damn, it's so easy to just fucking dunk on Andrew Tate. It's wild. You know, I guess it wasn't enough for him. He had a new tweet that just came out, apparently, hot off the presses.
Again, take the L and move on. Why you need to be engaging like this, do not know.
At 1:18, thank you for confirming via your email address that you have a small penis, Greta Thunberg.
Which, again, is what Greta said. That my email is that I have a small dick energy at getalife.com. Not because he asked for it. But clearly that wasn't what she meant to say. And so Tate's saying, well, thank you for confirming that you have small dick energy.
The world was curious. Why are you so curious? Whether she has a penis or not, that's a weird fucking sentence to craft and post, by the way.
And this is where already, now we're getting some bullshit. You just read the tweet, bro. Hassan, you just read the tweet. What do you mean the world was curious? Why is he saying the world was curious? He's addressing the fact that she just said she has small dick energy when he asked for her email address. That part's not weird.
The world was curious about your genitals, 19-year-old. Like, that's your comeback? And then he posted a 2-minute video.
I'm obviously a stranger to online controversies, not something I often do. But now, the mainstream press is commenting on the fact that I was informing Greta that my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines, which run on dead dinosaurs, have an enormous emission profile. And she replied by telling me her own email address. Greta's email address is, I have small dick energy. Why would that be your own email address? Strange. I mean, also, I don't want to assume her gender. It's 50-50, but it is what it is. I'm not actually mad at Greta.
What did he edit the tweet to?
But now, the mainstream press is commenting on the fact that I was informing Greta.
Why did he do a nip slip there? What a slut. Can we stop giving a scammer airtime?
This is why I hate this.
No! Please, dude. Please. Stop with the...
And I remember Hassan saying this, and same thing goes for me. That you got
bullshit.
You got to cover.
Okay? Stop with this platforming bullshit, dude. You guys are so stupid. There was a reason why I didn't cover him when he was banned off every goddamn platform. But when he's back, and he's popping off and he's doing a media tour, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to look at some of the dumb shit he says. Especially considering that he talks.
Replied by telling me her own email address. Greta's email address is, I have small dick energy. Why would that be your own email address?
Again, if you're just joining us, we're just doing the everything that led up so that everybody's on the same page, and we want to figure out what is the new stuff, why are the what are the charges, all that good stuff.
Strange. I mean, also, I don't want to assume her gender. It's 50-50, but it is what it is.
It's so odd. Like, I'm roasting a fucking grifter that is, like, incredibly popular, and you still have, like, weird concern trolling liberals in here who are like, dude, you're actually doing the wrong thing here. Like, what do you want?
Guys, if you do me a favor, hit that like button on your way in. That would be amazing.
It's over. No matter
thank
whether
you.
I fucking talk about it or not. Whether I talk about it or not, he's still going to pop off, okay?
I'm not actually mad at Greta. Please bring me pizza and make sure that these boxes are not recycled. Thank you. So, I'm not actually mad at Greta, right? Because she doesn't realize she's been programmed. She doesn't realize she's a slave of the Matrix. She thinks she's doing good. Someone has sat her down and convinced her to try and convince you to beg your government to tax you into poverty.
So that's the part. That's the part that you need to be focusing on, Andrew Tate. Not trying to get these little digs in and whatever. The fact that her whole position is the fact that she is pushing a global agenda to take your money so that you are poor. But all of that is just hidden beneath all of this bullshit. What are you doing, Tate?
To stop the sun from being hot.
Killed it. I mean, brilliant take.
And then
you can, True Dreamer, you can join the Discord for free. We do a panel in there after every single show, and it's an after party, so it always rages on. So again, if you want to talk about Kanye, we can definitely have that conversation after this. The link is in the description.
Because I called her out on it, the global matrix got this bot farm.
Oh, it was a bot farm. That's what it was. Oh, shit, dude. Yeah.
That's another cope. It was not a bot farm, bro. You like take the L.
No, he was not owned. It was just a bot farm. Got it. That's what it was. That's what that. Come on, you're not owned, man.
Oh
You're
my
not.
God.
You're definitely not.
Hassan is so boring. Would you guys would never watch me if I was this boring as yeah, dude, like totally, bro. Like, dude, like seriously, like why do people watch this asshole?
Owned, actually. It is a bot farm. They got you.
To like and retweet and all this bot commenting to try and pretend that her telling me that she has a small dick and her own email address somehow teaches me a lesson.
Oh, this is so much worse. Oh my God. Andrew Tate and Greta Thunberg need to stop flirting and just already. Bro, these people need to go to jail. Like, I swear to God. Yo, that's insane.
So that's basically where, you know, everything, all the drama and stuff. That's where it left off before, and everybody's trying to jump on the story and get out something to say, oh, I am the first one. I have all the details. And nobody had any details. Everybody was talking about Greta Thunberg and this and that and that. I now have, including my intro, have not even spent 15 minutes on this. So let's get into the new stuff.
So, Andrew Tate has been arrested. For those of you who know why already, I'm gonna roll the reason he talked about, and then I'll explain how and why he got arrested after. Roll the clip.
The other big
So this is a clip that shout out to conference creator. This clip that he's about to show, we covered this podcast with I think it's with Patrick Bet David and Valuetainment. If not, that comes at a later point. But a lot of these clips we've been watching all along.
thing that's against me is the fact that my house was raided by Romanian police, and people talk about me being a people trafficker.
Yep.
And that's a really, really interesting one. It's interesting because I actually kind of think it's a perfect storm. Some of the other things I say about accessible corruption or the fact that I live in Romania, which has a bad reputation, makes people think, so he's a criminal over there and he can get away with it, etc. Let me tell you something about Romania. They have a bad reputation for a few things. And one of them is people trafficking, which is age old. That was from the 90s. It's not the case anymore, not at all. But they're very sensitive about it. The number one crime you'll get in trouble for in Romania is exactly that. It's the one thing that they're very sensitive about. It's the image of their country.
So this is what he's saying months ago. I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was very end of the summer at the latest.
They're not going to allow some guy to make their whole country look bad. It's like going to Dubai and bragging about fucking being a financial criminal or something. Like, no. That makes Dubai look bad. So that's the one thing you'll get in trouble for. I wasn't doing it. What happened was, and I've explained this at length, I was swatted. Loads of people have been swatted. Someone called the police with a fictitious story, a complete false story. We were having a party at our house. There was a bunch of girls there. My brother and I got bored, decided to go to the casino. We don't gamble heavily, but we want to go play poker. We went to the casino, left the party unattended. There were like 20 girls there in our PA. So it's only girls in the house. This is all on CCTV. This is the reason I'm not in jail. The girl gets a phone call. It's her boyfriend in America, somewhere in Massachusetts. I saw you on Instagram story. That's Tate's house. The girl, who's from Miami, actually flew over to meet Tristan.
Notice another thing he just said. I noticed the house. This is going to come back later when everybody's talking about the pizza boxes and how the Romanian government used the little clip from that we saw before.
She messaged you on Instagram. The girl said, yeah, but I didn't want to be here. I'm trying to leave, and hung up. So her boyfriend, simps, bro. I don't know if he believed her. I don't know if he was jealous of us. I don't know what. Calls the American embassy in Romania and said, my girlfriend's being held against her will in this house. Now, I have
Is she though?
absolute respect for the Romanian authorities. I would hate to live in a country where they get a phone call saying a woman is kidnapped and they don't.
Hey, we got Krillin in the building. Welcome. Said, believe it or not, but I went to the same school as this guy. He was 4 years older than me in high school. I can't confirm or deny anything he says about his childhood. Well, that I guess puts you in the same boat as the rest of us, and we're all trying to figure it out. So welcome to the party. We are making sure we got all the information in one place. So as we're going forward, we know exactly what to think about all this. There's just too much information going around, too much fake news going around. I was just talking about those pizza boxes, which are completely irrelevant, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Welcome to the party. Glad to have you here.
Don't bother to do anything about it. That would be a terrible country to live in. Of course they strapped up. Of course they turned up. They were very, very respectful. They turned up. They were all strapped. They were very respectful. Andrew's unknown in the country.
Hey, we got I am in the building. Welcome. That is correct. He was a successful kickboxer, and that's kind of what he's talking about. Is that, as you can see on the screen, we'll back it up in a second, but he's like, I'm known in this country. They know me. First of all, Romania is a small country. So it's not like America where just because you make it big that everybody's not going to know you. But also, he has a lot of money and does a lot of business dealings, and clearly, for the right reasons or the wrong reasons, rub shoulders with the Romanian government. So, because of his sports career, among other things, he is not anybody new to the Romanian government. Welcome, I am that I am. So let's back this up so we can hear it. But that's exactly what he's saying.
They were very, very respectful. They turned up. They were all strapped. They were very respectful. Andrew, because I'm known in the country. Andrew, Tristan, we've heard this report that it was a very cordial conversation. But look around the house. No one's here. We have CCTV in our whole house. They went to the cameras. They saw the girl on the phone, go out, get a pizza, come back, get an Uber home. They're like, well, this is bullshit. It's like, well, obviously it's bullshit. I was swatted. The guy effectively just made up a false reason and called me. Took us to the police station to do some paperwork. They came to the house initially to search the house at 5. By 8 p.m., we went to the police station to do some paperwork. By 8:45, we were released. That's it.
So I believe the story he's telling is from this April. I could be wrong about that, but I think this is from this April, and this podcast is from earlier this year.
No one talks about that. Tate's house was raided for human trafficking. He's a human trafficker. His house was raided for human trafficking. I have no charges. I'm not on bail. There's no criminal investigation.
Things change, eh?
It's done. But the nature of the internet, Tate being a human trafficker gets clicks.
So I think they're continuing this BS case because there's no way he committed a crime, knew the police were looking for him, and then continued to come back to a country he was wanted in.
So that's a really good point right there. So first of all, his house was raided specifically for this crime in April. And, he dealt with the cops and whatever. Now, as we said before, clearly, if he is booked in jail for 30 days, clearly they have enough to do further investigation. But that's all that means. And who is doing these investigations and is it on the up and up? We don't know. It doesn't really make sense that somebody who has does all of this stuff in the open and makes a lot of money from it would do it illicitly and risk everything they have. But people do it. We just saw SBF go to prison. He didn't go to prison, but you know what I mean.
Especially since he has a passport and travels out of the country all the time.
Right. We just saw him on Just Pearly Things in the UK 4 days ago, earlier this week.
Andrew predicted that he would be arrested too. Roll that clip.
The truth is this. So I knew it was coming. I absolutely knew it was coming because of how orchestrated it was. The only thing, I'll state this at the beginning, the only reason I'm upset by being canceled is because I've expired one of my lives. Because first you get canceled, then they make up a reason to put you in jail. And if that fails, they kill you. So now I'm down to my last 2 lives, which is also why while I'm answering this question, I'm still being careful how I'm answering it. I'm not telling you
scary shit.
It's scary because they've given me the warning and I'm still running my mouth.
Yeah.
So that's scary.
He also said this.
Listen, and I'm going to say this on this podcast now, to say it in every other one. I would never, ever kill myself. I truly believe they're going to come and they're going to try and kill me on a long enough time frame because they try to shut me up and I won't shut up. They're going to try and put me in jail. They're going to kill me. And I would never kill myself under any circumstances ever.
So, again, that doesn't mean anything for what we have right now. But that is good to know that as this continues to unfold, if he gets Epsteined, that's an Epstein.
The reason I say this, and I say this to people, they go, but what can they put you in jail for? And I'm like, how ignorant are you in your ignorance to believe they need a reason? You believe it's fair. You believe I can get a lawyer and prove myself innocent. That's not how it works. They decide you're guilty long before and they find a reason why. And it doesn't matter what you do about it, you will pay the fucking price. It's not fair. None of it is. Every single system's corrupt. It actually annoys me when people say that to me. Well, just get a lawyer. Why? They can't put you in jail if you're innocent. Yes, they fucking can.
That's adorable. Even in America, on small level crimes. Do you know how many people are sitting in American jails who had lawyers? Not none.
And that's what people don't understand about the world. They can and they do and they fucking will. And that's what's scary.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. Now, for those of you who don't know how he got arrested, here's the short story on how we got here.
Controversial influencer Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan are arrested in Romania as part of a human trafficking probe. News broke late Thursday evening by Vienna.
Yeah, so it's just going over the same stuff that we just did. So we got a good picture of what's been going down so far. Yeah, right. Bill Cosby. There's a lot of angles to take with this stuff. I thought a very interesting thing was how everybody is talking about this. We don't know anything yet, but everybody has an opinion already. So actually, let's do this. Let's check out. Like I said, the way I discovered this was through Twitter. So let's take a look at Twitter here. Can we zoom this in a little bit? Well, so I just start. So this was the first one. We have Kevin Sorbo here. Says, weird how Andrew Tate being swatted for alleged human causes celebration from the left. Yet they're still silent about Epstein's client list. Why is it that Nobody seems to care about that anymore. All these people who are so up in arms kind of just are taking a victory lap because they don't like him, right? Hold on, let's get one of these. Yeah. Again, shoe on head. Andrew Tate won't see your jokes about his no chin, but your friends with no chin will. This whole thing started with body shaming. What happened to body positivity? What happened to beautiful at every size? But you can make fun of a man's dick size. You can make fun of a man's chin. And that's totally fine. And everybody, I think it was like the most liked tweet of all time, or I don't know what it was, but lots of bullshit there. So we got a thread here from Glenn Greenwald. Said an NBC News reporter retweeted and helped viralize this obvious fabrication by anonymous account. And so the tweet says, Peter Thiel and Glenn Greenwald, YouTube knockoff. Peter Thiel and Glenn Greenwald's YouTube knockoff service paid Andrew Tate a handsome sum to start streaming from their services here. A few months ago, Thiel was photographed entering a Romanian castle for a secret Halloween party that Musk allegedly also attended. And the most prominent on the internet NBC reporters are indistinguishable from the resistance activists. They don't even try to hide it. This is not, oh, sorry, I didn't realize this here. They're not, this is not news. These people are not looking to, these people are not looking to give you the news. These people are looking to push an agenda. Freeman says, why are men getting in trouble about women opening up their legs with their free will? Well, that's the whole point, is that he's getting charged because it was against their will, allegedly. If it wasn't, then we would have no issue. But even still, people are still hating on him. Moving on. NBC hires only security state operatives or democratic activists, and they lie compulsively. Now, obviously, in real life, if a real life news organization saw one of its reporters spreading such a blatant lie, I own or run Rumble and paid Andrew Tate, they'd force her to retract it. So that's the lie, that I own or run Rumble, Glenn Greenwald, and that Andrew Tate was paid to use it. But NBC knows its liberal audience wants the lies about partisan enemies, the same reason none retracted this about the Hunter Biden story. Hunter Biden story is Russian disinfo. Was it though? Hey, we got Jimmy Dean in the building. Welcome, brother. Yes, we are making sure we go through all of the bullshit and all the bullshit and figure out what the hell is really, really, really going on here. But welcome, brother. Glad to see you. Going on the Glenn Greenwald is a pretty high level journalist. He used to work for, I don't even know, but he's got one of the biggest Substacks. Definitely trust this guy. I'm saying I do. I'm not telling you to. You can trust whoever the hell you feel like it. These media outlets always whine that the public no longer trusts them, no longer regards them as legitimate, harbors intense hatred for them, turns to independent news sources for news. They never asked what caused this. They caused this with lies like this. And of course, trust in media through the floor. While we're on the topic of the media outlets paying bad people, NBC and MSNBC pay a small army of war criminals, CIA goons, FBI officials, career liars from every U.S. security stage agency. NBC employees are among the last people on the planet to credibly condemn others for this. What do we get? No Freedom says, everyone always says it's against their will. It is like a woman saying, I got them pregnant and it's my fault. Bro, we're specifically we're not talking about what she said. We're talking about, is it against her will or not against her will? What she's saying is that's what the investigation is for. We're all on your side with this one. For once, we all agree with you, No Freedoms. If this is all lies, nobody wants him to get in trouble. If this is true, then that's not cool. And we do want him to get in trouble. On that, then if you're on that page where you want him to be able to traffic humans, then okay, I mean, I guess this comment makes sense, but you're in a blatant minority. James is probably a white supremacist too or something. I don't know. I just listen to what Media Matters tells me. Yeah, you're on the right track. Yeah. Hey, we got Miguel in the building. Welcome back, brother. Welcome. How are you doing? Good to see you. JC Potter. All right. I'll be looking for you. Welcome to the party. Whether you're Miguel or JC, we are happy to have you. So let's go back here. What other stuff do we have? I don't know who Long Beach Anya Forgiver is, but 200,000 followers said people can say Andrew Tate is a kid diddler, and people would believe it because they don't like him. Be afraid. What's the evidence? His prediction is not evidence that Andrew Tate was set up. I keep clicking the damn thing. Blair White. Andrew Tate is either guilty or not. I cannot read tonight, guys. I am sorry. Take two. Whether Andrew Tate is guilty or not, they skip the entire Jeffrey Epstein client list because he's their enemy and the people on that list aren't. These people who are all up in arms right now, like, yeah, they probably tweeted Epstein didn't kill himself or, whatever, or something about Ghislaine Maxwell. But this is not something that they care about. We had, as soon as Biden got into office, there was a huge crisis at the border. And one of the biggest concerns was not only the trafficking of, humans, but specifically children. I'm like, no, that's not happening. That's fake. Fake news. Okay. Freedom says, what I'm saying is that most women lie about it. A lot of man should not be in jail right now. Once you make it and become big, the lies come. Well, the second part I will definitely agree with. It's way too easy. It is way too easy to make the world think that Andrew Tate is doing this stuff. From the very first time that we talked about him, those of you who have been here, the very first time the first I ever really saw him in any type of context outside of being on Fresh and Fit was that XQC conversation. And he was like, oh, I'm not really sure what's going on. And he was in and out, and then he was getting the massage. That thing. You remember, I told you that if this day ever came where he was charged with this type of thing, that I wouldn't not believe it, but I also would need evidence in order to believe it. So I don't have evidence either way right now. And he's not an American, he's not in America, but I believe in innocent until proven guilty regardless. So my stance is that we need more information. So we can come back to some of these. I want to read the Daily Beast. They are a great, super trustworthy news outlet. They said police raid MAGA king of toxic masculinity. News. The raid was prompted by reports that American women had been abducted. So again, this is from this is an old one. My bad. All right, give me a second here. All right, let's do this. Oh my God. So go to Jesus fucking Christ. Hold on. Daily Beast, Andrew Tate. Where was it? Yes, sexist troll Andrew Tate will be welcoming the new year in a Romanian detention center after prosecutors were granted a 30-day hold following his arrest on Thursday. So that's what he's being held on. He's being held on. There's more information that they need to uncover before they can determine, do we need to continue with this, or is it all Gucci? Of course, we know that there are reasons for people in higher powers to want him to not be in power. And there's people, specifically, if this is connected, I don't know, who are standing behind Greta. So we really don't know. Hey, we got Mike in the building. What is good, Mike? Welcome. Said the U.S. Embassy in Romania is involved with this investigation. I think they're putting pressure on the Romanian government to do this. That makes a lot of sense. There has been an overwhelming effort to weaken the mindset of men over the last, who knows, decade, longer, And this man comes in and is shattering that. They don't like that. So I was watching something with Destiny. He was like, oh, you think they're going to do all this over some red pill videos? Maybe it's not just the videos. Maybe it's the fact that he's actually reaching people. Maybe it's the fact that people's minds are changing. Maybe it's the fact that in conjunction with the trust in media falling through the floor, maybe all of those things coagulated and made it a reason why the U.S. Embassy would want this guy taken down and why he was able to travel freely in and out of Romania this week. Because remember, they're not talking about something that happened this week. They're talking about something that happened in April. The wrong article that I just pulled up, that was April 27th. That's what this is all stemming from. So it's not like just this week something happened. You know this was going on. He's traveling in and out of the country. He has a passport. They're stamping that passport. I don't know if you ever traveled out of whatever country you live in. But if you're wanted for trafficking humans, they're not just letting you fly out. That's not happening. So, Mike, this makes a lot of sense. Again, it's just conjecture, which is fine, but that definitely makes a lot of sense to me. So continuing on, the American British kickboxer influencer was detained in Romania along with his brother Tristan after his house was raided as part of an investigation into an RP. And authorities said 2 others were also taken by Romanian law enforcement. They didn't. I don't know where that whole article was, but I wanted to. I just wanted to point out how, of course, all of the tweets that we were just reading and why people have the type of attitude towards this, where a man's life is in the balance, and theoretically or potentially there's someone who's a victim here. Well, no, there is somebody who's a victim here. It may be a woman who was trafficked, or it might be the Tates. It might be the Tates, and not too many people are happy with that notion that they are victims. And all of this and everything that they've seen in this entire culture where victimhood is currency, that Andrew Tate is an actual real victim of the government and the police? No, that can't be. That can't be. There was just a couple other so people were talking about how the pizza box in the video where he's like, "Oh, give me some pizza and don't recycle those boxes." People are saying that because the boxes were from a local Romanian pizza shop, that people were watching his social media. I'm like, oh, that's where he is. They raided his house this year. He was filming in his house. I don't know how incompetent you think the government is. I mean, I think they're super incompetent. Incompetent and incompetent. But they don't look like, they don't need to be looking at the boxes on pizza when you're filming in your own house. Remember in the Valuetainment video, he said, they know me in Romania. They see what's going on. So we got a couple of people here. No Freedom said, I've seen this comment in the last video, but hey, I'm an incel. So, what? Okay. Well, cheers to you. But there's a couple of people who went onto the website of the pizza place, and I think it's hilarious. I mean, pizza's so damn good, they'll have to send the cops. Quality pizza, outstanding performance in taking down an international human trafficking ring. Francois said, good pizza, good service, excellent arrest record. I just thought that was funny. I thought that was funny. And then, as much as I don't care about the Greta stuff, this is savage. Oh, what the fudgesicle? Oh. This is pretty savage. This was the most savage part of the Twitter exchange. But it didn't need to get this far. So my question really is, well, number one, how connected to the arrest is Greta? Because the timing is just weird. It's just weird. Why? again, why all of a sudden he's talking to all these people. He's going on all these podcasts. He's doing all this stuff. This is an allegation from way earlier in the year. Maybe they found something. We have to grapple with the reality that this could be what it is. And some of you are not ready, the same way that some people are not ready to hear Andrew Tate being a victim. Some of you are not ready to hear that he really did this. At the end of the day, people do crazy shit. And the crazier shit that you're willing to do, the more likely you're willing to do that while also being out in the open. Freedom says the world is crazy as fuck. Somehow, school don't have security cameras, but somehow the internet is that locked down better than a government office. How is the internet locked down better than a government office? He wasn't raided by Twitter. He was raided by the government, and the government didn't use Twitter. He says some weird things sometimes, brother. So yeah, I think there was another video that kind of broke things down a little bit in a way that I don't know. I want to get your guys' opinion on, because I'm still trying to figure out what do we think about all this stuff. So let's take a look at this, and you guys tell me.
Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio.
Come on. Miguel says, if it pays well, women will do anything. Doubt anyone in Tate's life would kidnap anyone. So this is a good comment. This is a good place to start. So there's this thing called OnlyFans. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's not porn. Well, it's kind of porn. Porn's been a thing. But there's a thing called OnlyFans, where normal girls will decide on their own volition to try, keyword try, to put themselves out there, really putting themselves out there, and try to make money. So why, if you have an infrastructure, if you have a platform where men are already coming to pay you to do this, why would you kidnap anybody? Jimmy Dean says they were groomed. I don't know, man. I don't know. Groomed how? Can you be groomed as an adult? Can you be groomed as an adult? I don't know. I feel like that's more of a or at least in the context that it sounds like Jimmy's saying, where I feel like there has to be a level of at least childhood innocence. I don't know the details of his business. I've never visited the site. I've never looked into it. But from what I understand, it's just a pretty standard Romanian campsite where they just have girls on screen, and you type in and you do your simp thing and whatever. So you know what, True Dreamer, I'm glad you joined the Discord. But after this, I want to finish going through this, and then there's the rest of the tweets, and just see if that sparks any more conversation about how are people taking this, and are we getting the full story? Are we getting the right story here? But I'm going to drop the link, and I want to hear what you guys think. Miguel says, if he is caught with kids, that is different. Oh yeah, that is definitely different. If it's adult women, I doubt he did anything but pay them well. I agree. Mike says, it's not like we are defending Tate. Correct. If he's guilty, he's guilty. Again, Mike is correct. It is not like we are defending Tate. If he is guilty, he is guilty. The problem is the government and the media has lied to us so often that we don't know when they are telling the truth. And they're usually not. So it makes sense for us to withhold judgment. I like it. You're on fire tonight, Mike. And just a little sneak preview of, not really, but a sneak preview of Monday's show. Mike sent me a video that I had on my playlist, and I was like, I don't know. But he sent it to me, and I was like, all right, I got to watch this now. And it's dope. So Monday's show is going to be fun.
and a voice for print. I'm going to jump right into it today, if I can remember to capture my browser here. There we go. Let me resize this as well. All right, let's pretend like I'm a professional.
So what does it say? No, for you always keep only saying things. I stated that somehow a school can suck so bad and can't find students, but if you go online and they can track you, the same as the FBI in that school. Type a 1 in the chat if you understand what this says.
Professional. There we go. Odd timing. Andrew Tate has been arrested within 24 hours of getting in a Twitter spat with the world's most beloved activist, Greta Thunberg. The reason why I say I think this is kind of odd timing is that, Andrew Tate's done some bad things in the past. All of a sudden, some new allegations come out within the last 24 hours. And of course, he picked a fight with what many might consider the world stage's youngest activist. I'm
going to switch this up. Screw that. We're going with my boy Jesse.
Ooh, all right. New information. A lot of talk about Andrew Tate, but man, nothing else going on anyway. But yeah, this is big news, man. And while everybody gets on, I will do my usual song and dance real quick.
So let's see if we could take two. So school has no water. School has no water, power, and 10-year-old books, but they have amazing internet. Almost like the government. They can lose money, but they will never forget what you owe. I'm struggling, bro. I don't understand the point that you're trying to make. I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't understand what you're trying to make. Hey, we got Sean McAway in the building. Welcome. Definitely go check out his channel. He's been doing amazing on the live streaming. Sean, you can definitely drop your channel. It is awesome. I am subscribed. I catch it whenever I can, and you guys should too. Same with our boy Jesse over here.
If you're new to the channel, what I ask from people is that
all right.
They approved it.
So like
that
I
means
said,
that there's
he sent me this. He sent me the tweet. This is the same tweet we looked at before, and then went live.
It means that they're
bro, join the Discord. But hey, I'm dropping the link tonight. So if True Dreamer's still here, he's going. He gets first. But you can come up too. I want to talk to you about these things, bro. It's difficult when you're in the comments and you won't join the Discord, but you can come up tonight. So yeah, this was he sent me this. He's like, yo, I just found this. And he went live.
Apparently was evidence that supported doing the extension. So, I mean, look, dude.
So make one, no freedoms.
Tell me that guy's fake news. That's where it's coming from. That's one of those things. Like 6 hours ago, it's like, hey, yeah, they're going to be in court, and then like an hour, and then 5 hours later, it's like, oh, it's just some big.
If you don't care enough, then I don't care enough.
Like he's just going to ruin his reputation forever to do some weird thing where Andrew Tate's out. He's not out. He's not out, and then he's in for 30 days. It's like, okay. Anyway, so I would say pretty confidently that he's probably remanded. So here's what my thoughts are now, right? So going off of and Vegas VIPs, thank you very much, man. So here's what it is. I'm going to assume that there is at least some kind of evidence that they could present to the judge. Is it possible that you got a corrupt judge, corrupt prosecutor? Of course, possible.
That's all. That already. That was my first thought. Is that, like Mike was saying, that there's some type of fuckery afoot already at the start. Which, when it comes to international stuff, I'm always going to be thinking.
But in all honesty, probably less likely than there's at least something that they have in terms of a case. So now I switch gears a little bit. And I go to a different way of looking at this, right? Which is, and look, I don't know anything at all about his operation. I've never looked for his cam girl thing. I know as much as any other. I probably know less than most people. I know a fair amount about his kickboxing career because I looked it up. But in terms of like what his businesses are, nothing. I know he has a Discord that people pay $50 to be a member of, Tate University or whatever. But I don't have any insight on this. So I'm literally just talking based on experience in things, or, as an observer or whatnot. But number one, he seemed way too rich for whatever he was like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you have that much money? You know what I mean? It's like, do you have 16? Or he told
well, don't forget, it's not like he's just an influencer and makes money from being an influencer. He has other businesses. He has his casinos. He has he has a million different things. So that's not really weird to me.
You know, like in his tweet to Greta, assuming that he sells 33 cars, how does he have that? How does he have money like that? You know, how do you have money for 33 cars? You know, I mean, and again, I don't have an answer. Maybe he's got this, whatever. But he seems really. I mean, that's real money right there. You know, and then here's the other thing I'll say: if it comes out that he was doing dirt, if he was, the casinos thing,
Right?
I forgot about that.
Exactly. He's got. Right.
He does not. No. The 350 million thing. And I'll tell you how I know. Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't get to all those people without getting to everybody else. And so again, I just can't stress this enough. I say this all the time. First of all, don't do dirty. Like, you know, find a way to make normal money.
Clean money.
But if you make dirty money, shut the fuck up. Because these people don't have a sense of humor about this stuff at all.
Move in silence. Move in violence.
You know, like, these people don't have a sense of humor. And you know, with Kraus, you're talking about making an enemy of incredibly powerful interests. When you get into an accusation of fixing a fight, you're robbing the gambling industry. Okay. Now I realize they've done a pretty good job of kind of weeding out just straight up organized crime out of Vegas, but all of these organizations are ruthless, dude, and incredibly powerful. Even if you're just talking Indian casinos, dude.
Think about the movie of Casino, and that was when you could, you know, hide shit, or you couldn't hide shit and get away with things as easily. Now they can work in the shadows. They could destroy your entire livelihood, your bank account. Yeah, they can do it all at the snap of a finger. Now, Sean says, keep your hands clean as much as you can. Absolutely. No, Freedom says no such thing as clean money. This guy is dumb as fuck to say that. No, wrong. He didn't mean like clean in the sense that it's not getting to get dirt on your hands. It means that you earned it.
They have tremendous lobbying power. Like, why do you think sports betting has been illegal for so long? You know, sports betting. They literally go on television every day on ESPN and they tell you what the odds are for every fight, for every game. They're like, oh yeah, these guys are a minus 250 favorite, or minus 250 favorite. Here are the stats to consider, you know, in terms of the the betting line. And sports betting is illegal in, like, you know, 80% of the states. And they do that, you know, federally. How have they been able to keep it illegal for this long? It's because the casino industry has incredible power. Because as soon as it becomes legal, they can move it all online, and their vice grip on betting goes away. And so Kraus is talking, right? And as soon as it's like, hey, this guy, so he's like working with all these fighters, he's betting on UFC.
I just dropped the link. Anybody who would like to come up, anybody who has information, anybody who wants to discuss this, I very much prefer that you cam up. And if you're on some bullshit, then you're just gonna be kicked. So don't even try.
Fights. It's like, yeah, I don't know. There's a reason why we don't let Major League. I mean, look at Pete Rose, dude. Pete Rose is one of the greatest baseball players in the history of the sport, and he's blackballed from the sport completely because he bet on baseball. He didn't throw a game. He never threw a game or anything. He just bet on baseball. You know what I mean? Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now. Let me stop right here. Dog, Guru threw me in the B section. He can hate on whatever the fuck.
Come on, man.
Once you throw, I've said a million times. I really do think there's he has a channel that's just him and a camera and a microphone, just like me. I was just talking about this the other day where I was saying, like, all these other channels, like, no one's they're not doing it by themselves, and and thus the money that they generate, they have to split with people. I was like, the only
no freedoms. Hit the link.
People that I think do everything themselves are like me, Guru, maybe I would guess probably Mexican martial arts, although he might have someone doing some editing, but he puts out videos so infrequently, like in terms of his like edited stuff. He's probably doing it himself. But a person who's sitting and just talking to a camera, editing themselves, if any, like doing any editing at all themselves, doing thumbnails themselves, uploading, and then doing, and to get to the stage that both me and Guru are at, you have to be incredibly talented, just because you just do. He and I mean, our channels are very...
No freedoms. Come up and talk about it. Gail says, everyone is living off each other's work. I was thinking about that today to Mr. Fred. Yeah, that doesn't mean that it's dirty. There's this thing called free exchange. That is exactly what our entire civilization is built on. All right, then do that. Fuck, man. The notion that I can't build you a fence, and then you give me that money, regardless of if you got that money literally by murdering somebody. That money is now clean because I earned it. It's not in that person's hand. and whatever they did has nothing to do with me. So if you're saying that everywhere, at some point in the chain of getting printed from the Federal Reserve to when the dollar is no longer it's all crumpled up, and sure, okay, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Very different. Like he's in the weeds on the fights. I just talk about nonsense, and I do that on purpose though. Anyway, so funny how quick Tate is got for trafficking by XD. I mean, yeah, you think?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about before with the Epstein. How do I get rid of this? Hold on. So the super chat was asking about the Epstein client list.
It's hilarious too. You're like, really? I mean, but again, let me just also make this perfectly clear, dude. You don't know. I think it's fair to say now, like, we don't know. We have no idea what this is actually going to be. You know,
Fact.
yesterday I would have said, yesterday I think I did say that I feel like this is probably just a shakedown and something they were using to smear him so that in the future when he talks, they get to say next to his name, Andrew Tate, once arrested for human trafficking, and then anything he says, anything that he says after that, it's like, okay, so this is the least credible person on earth, right?
Yeah. So they remember the first video we watched where he was outlining this. He said this is exactly what's going to happen because they know that even if it's bullshit, they can throw this at him, and now he has that attached to his name. And people like the Daily Beast, people on Twitter, like we were just reading, all the people who just want Twitter points. All the people who just want virtue signal points can say, oh, look at this bad man did this, that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. And I'm so good because whatever. That's what it is. Freedom says, so a society built on child labor is okay since I got it clean. This is what's called a false dichotomy. This is just because there's bad things in the world doesn't mean the entire world is bad. There's nuance. The world isn't a good thing or a bad thing. Humanity isn't good or bad. There's nuance. Humanity is made up of billions of individual agents. A society is built on millions or billions of different individuals. So trying to be like, oh, well, that person did a thing, so everything is bad. They literally have a phrase for this. It's called throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Right? And so I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, they don't need to actually make this stick. They just need to arrest him. And then they've discredited him forever. But
just give me a thumbs up when you're good.
Now, if the judge really did look at the case, took hours to look at the evidence, and then approved keeping him in jail with no bail, I mean, you got to, it's one of two options. Either the judge is corrupt or there's something there,
Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of the two things. It's one of the two things. And we have here one of my favorite co-hosts, Darshan McAway in the building. What is good? What is good? Real quick, do you want to tell everybody about your channel?
For sure, man. Go to wildpodcast.me is the website, and it's also the title of the YouTube page. We talk to New York Times and USA Today bestselling authors, and sometimes if I don't have any guests, I'll talk about some trending topics such as this Andrew Tate ordeal.
Yeah, I see you still got Top G in the name there. That's ooh, man, riding hard. So I guess that means you're not selling him down the river just yet, huh?
No, because he was already kind of telling people like what was going to happen ahead of time, with some of his podcast streams. And again, it's one of those things, man. A lot of people don't recognize this. Me and you had kind of some conversations about this, but when you start making a certain amount of money, you start getting eyeballs on you. Because if you look at most of the world is kind of living paycheck to paycheck, month to month. So those people who do get a chance to buy Bugattis and Bentleys, it's always a question of how are you making the money?
Right. So I have two questions for you. It's a two-part question because you talk a lot about moving in terms of money, moving in such a way that you're not being flashy, that you want to live comfortable, but you're not showing off and all that stuff. Right. Which clearly Andrew Tate does not live by that tenet. Which, hey, to each their own. Right. But as you said, and as Jesse was just saying before, he was talking about the casinos. If you have the money for 33 supercars, that does kind of be like, are you doing something shady over there? So what is that? Those two things together, the fact that he's very flashy and the fact that he has a lot to flash.
Yeah.
Do you think that means anything to what we're trying to figure out?
No. So okay, so it all depends on what type of person you are. So Andrew Tate is connected, right?
Mhm.
He's connected, and a lot. You guys got to understand this. Okay, let's say he does have the 32 cars. Well, those 32 cars aren't necessarily owned by him. There's finance, they're leased or whatever, so they're just on
Mm.
contracts. So let's say most of those 32 cars, they don't even have over 3,000 miles on them. So they're still valuable for him to trade them in or to get the next new car that's coming out. So it's possible that he has 32 cars, but you got to also understand these guys, they end up with talent agencies and they pitch them a proposal saying, hey, I'm going to do this on YouTube. It'll look better if I have a rented mansion or X amount of rented cars. It's all under a business name and let's make it happen.
So, and then something just came to mind as you were saying that is that about the value of the cars, especially if you're not, just driving them around. That the supercar industry in and of itself is something that could provide the money to get a bunch of supercars. No,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I don't know very much about his business dealings. I don't. Once I kind of grew out of that red pill rage phase, and I was like, okay, I got what I need to know, and this is clearly going in the wrong direction. So I want to, just like religion, want to take what I need and get the hell out of there. It's just, what do you think about the notion that this is what we would expect? That if he was going down, that he would go down for this. You're not going to see. It wouldn't make sense because he's talked so much about the cam girl stuff and in the red pill space. It wouldn't make sense for him to, or at least it wouldn't hit as hard for him to be taken down for tax evasion or something white collar like that.
Yeah.
And as Mike's saying here, if Tate was on the left, don't think this would be happening to him. Definitely not. Definitely not. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I think this was going to happen to him regardless because this type of thing happens to a lot of people who start showboating about money and jewelry and cars. I don't think that the human trafficking thing is true. I think that somebody probably did report him and say, "Hey, they made me feel like I'm like I can't leave." But I don't think that is true. But see, even under that type of allegation, it becomes true to the government's situation.
Right.
So
And that's fair. I mean, if you get a call that someone's being held against their will, you got to check that out.
Yeah.
But especially the way that he told the story on the Valuetainment podcast that we covered months ago, and when this all happened, the story that he told doesn't seem like a fantastical story. It seemed like if that was a lie, that he would have been able to get out of that to even be in this situation now. It would have been this situation then. And it does make sense to me that if you're some young girl who is looking to make money and you hear about Andrew Tate and you fly out to Romania and you're doing this and whatever, and you got a boyfriend and, well, I mean, I want to leave, but I feel like I have to stay here because, all the money. And then, well, okay, now the boyfriend hears that and calls the embassy. And Mike brought up earlier that the embassy might be putting pressure on them. I was saying that as much as, Tate talks about the Matrix and kind of cheesy stuff like that.
Yeah.
He does it that way because it makes sense to us. We understand what he's talking about. And, so, even on his perp walk, he's saying the Matrix sent their agents for me, which, like if I was 13, I'd be like, oh, that's so cool. But I'm not 13.
Yeah.
My point though is, does this not just prove all of the things that he's been saying are true?
Well, yeah, so it proves it, right? But here's going to be the conclusion to everything. What are we going to do about it? Those of us who like what he's saying, like what he represents. What happens when if they take him out of the equation for real? Like, what are people really going to do? Yeah, I can tell you now, if they take him out of the equation completely, him and his brother, then they, meaning the government on any side of the country, is trying to muffle a certain amount of male influence, if you will. I don't think that he's a hindrance to society. I think that what he's saying has a lot of truth to it. Sometimes he's kind of back and forth. He's a little beta, little alpha terminologies here and there. But for the most part, man, he shines a light on what you can be, because he doesn't come from just pure stardom. He actually comes from somewhat of humble beginnings. He got a grasp on his life, and then became arrogant and more arrogant, and then that arrogance turns into confidence, and then that confidence turns into the most, I guess, Googled man on the planet, within a couple months. But at the same time, he's been doing this type of stuff for years. So
Exactly.
whoever it is, I don't know if you've seen my stream, but it was a stream I was telling you about his hand gestures, and most of his
so.
pictures, right?
Yeah, I
Most
saw
of his
some of it.
pictures and his videos, he's throwing up a hand gesture. So the hand gesture that he's throwing up, it's the triangle of power, right? And it is a part of the Illuminati affiliation, or people who are in higher grounds of controlling things. So he is connected. I don't know. Is he out of jail yet?
No. So he
Okay.
just today they announced that the Romanian government got a 30-day hold to continue their investigation. So him and Tristan, his brother, are being held at least for the next 30 days, and potentially are looking at up to 20 years. So
Okay,
this clearly is not just I mean, it definitely can be bullshit, but it's clearly not just a little blip on the radar. It's not just some side lawsuit that he's got to deal with. I mean, things like one of my my biggest Instagram reels is when he first got banned, and H3H3 podcast was talking about him, and they were saying, "Oh, he does the human trafficking or whatever." I'm like, I don't think you can say that on the internet. Turns out, one of the videos was like, yep, after he served them a lawsuit. So he's got stuff going on in the cut that we don't know about, as I'm sure most people who have money and have things established do. Yeah. But this is different. This is different. And
it is.
Jed?
So well, when you start to reach a certain financial status, it's going to be very hard for you to keep your hands clean. You're gonna be tempted by getting over on certain things, as you can see, like with what Brett Favre did with the Mississippi funding on creating a recreational a park out of some type of foundation. So, Brett Favre, this is just in comparison to finances. Brett Favre is one of the greatest football players, for Green Bay and everything like that.
He ended up getting the goddamn Jets. Come on.
He ended up getting
careers go to die. Sorry.
Right. Now you're good. He ended up getting some money from the state of Mississippi. It was anywhere between like $3 to $8 million. But he took some money off top, and they put a certain amount of money over there. So they were basically skimming money off the top. So even rich people find it hard to be honest and have clean money, because they get tempted by certain things. So it wouldn't be a surprise to me that if they did find something on Andrew Tate, that he can be guilty of. But for him to be as flashy and flamboyant as he is, I don't think that he'll really tempt the human trafficking thing, because that's real serious time, as you can see. So I don't think he would do anything like that. But my one conclusion, I'm gonna let you come in on it. Just one thing. He's not going to be in there as long as we think. He does have some friends that are going to pull some strings for him. They're just going to make the bail higher. So I know it's a hold right now, but they're going to try to get some money out of somebody to feed the Romanian government system.
Facts. I like that read a lot. Guys, if you could do me a huge favor and tap that like button, that would be a huge, huge, huge help. Thank you so much. Mike says, remember, they're not in the United States where you're innocent until proven guilty. Most countries, you're guilty and you have to prove your innocence. Yeah. And we have to remember, though, that is why Tate moved there. Is because it's a shifty, and he can use that to his advantage. And so kind of going back to what No Freedoms was saying about clean money and whatever. If you want to take the position that there is no clean money, and there which means that clean money, dirty money, it's all the same, then hey, if I can pay to do this, that, and the other, well, I mean, them's the rules. Yeah, them's the rules. The rules are what is enforced. There's a whole, it used to be a book, I guess it's a website now, of dumb laws. They used to do like a recurring thing. It was like a bathroom reader type book. And for instance, there's a rule, I think it's West Virginia, where it's illegal to leave a pie on your windowsill or something because it would attract bears. Now, you're not going to get in any trouble in 2023 coming up for leaving a pie on your windowsill. That doesn't mean it's not the law, but effectively, practically, it kind of does.
Yeah.
It kind of does. And so, Mike, I think this might work in his favor. What Darshan was just saying about how he does have those connections. He is definitely known in Romania. Which again can money the situation even more, because even as we sit now saying we don't really think that this stuff is real, but we don't know, then with the Romanian government, as Mike is talking about, we may never know. And at that point, you just have to determine, okay, we don't know. I'm just going to go based on what the guy is saying. Hey, we got Melanie in the building. What is good? What is good? Says the Matrix. The Matrix did get Andrew. He made nothing up. Did y'all not see Jeffree Star's tweets? No, I did not. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, let's go. Jeffree Star is the YouTube influencer.
Yes, he is the makeup dude, Jeff. Oh, that's an A. Thank you, Melanie. And welcome to the party. There we go. What am I looking for, Melanie? Claim to escape. Well, let's go to the account. Where's the account? Nope, fan account. Really? How are you not the first one? If somebody can get that link, that would be awesome. So, but what is it that Melanie? If you could just tell us quickly, what was Jeffree saying? That adds to this about the Matrix. I'd love to get some more information, because that's really what we want to do here. Everybody wanted to jump on the story last night to be the first one there, and everybody's the every video that I saw was just people being like, hey, this happened. Okay, bye. And it's like, now, okay, we have some more information. I was hoping we would have something a little bit more substantial, like a police report or something like that. But, it's still a developing story. And it's really tough to know where to stand. Mm-hmm. And so where does it put you as somebody who's not, an Andrew Tate fan, per se, but somebody who enjoys the message? Mm-hmm. Where does that put you if it does come out that this is, he's doing all this stuff?
So it puts me in a position of like, I kind of would anticipate it, because I understand what happens when people become wildly financially successful, and then it gets onto media, then it catches on like a wildfire. And I understand the political and justice system when it comes to who they need to make an example out of. What I can tell you now, and it's something that it surprises me. We're not learning from people's mistakes. When you become too flashy, they will make an example out of you. They're giving you an opportunity to make money. They don't want you to throw it in people's face. They don't want you coming onto their platform saying whatever that you think that you can say. You just got to abide by some of the rules. I know we feel like we don't have to, because I'm my own person. I pay my own bills. I'm grown, all this type of stuff. But at the same time,
especially in Romania.
Right. At the same time, I've said this before. When you don't own the platform, you just have to abide by their rules. If you don't want to abide by their rules, go make your own platform. And to my surprise, I've always said this to people. Andrew Tate was working on making his own bank. I told you before too, I'm working on the same thing. I mentioned to my audience about Kanye West, him starting his own bank, which is something he said he was going to do when he was on Tim Cass podcast. So that's where it's at. And I told you guys, it doesn't really take that much to start your own bank. You got to go through a couple hurdles and some red tape, but you're able to do it. You're able to do it. So I think for him, if he beats this, I think he'll now understand that he probably won't go to other people's platforms or podcasts as much. They'll have to come to him.
That makes a lot of sense. You got a lot more control, and it's like, look, like he said himself, they gave me the warning. They took my first life. So Melanie followed up here. Thank you again, Melanie. Said Jeffrey said he escaped the Matrix, then said something along the lines of, "You should see what they're doing to Andrew Tate." He also said another celebrity, I forgot, about a female singer. Wouldn't be surprised if his tweets and maybe himself got deleted too, right? Yeah. Yikes. And the thing is, I'm questioning, how much is it about the money and how much is it about the message? Or is it a combination? Because we saw, the red pill space in general is, especially while Kevin was alive, shout out to the late, great Kevin Samuels, was going through the roof, was skyrocketing. And then him specifically was probably the biggest name in the space. Now, he certainly wasn't the way that he interacted, even though it was brash. He was talking to women about their own lives, as opposed to just saying, "Oh, women do this and women do that." It's like, no, like, bitch, you just said it. Like, so I think that shielded him a little bit. But he was pretty flashy too.
He was starting to be flashy. He definitely was on his way. I looked at some videos of Kevin Samuels from a few years back, and he always kind of dressed up a little bit, because he was always trying to be like the fragrance and the fashion guy.
Right.
He was on his way to being flashy because he started buying some Rolexes and he bought a couple of luxury cars.
Yeah, TLA was like, "Yo, you cannot imagine Kevin Samuels being giddy," but we went to Tom Ford and that man was giddy.
Yeah.
And I believe it. And so that begs the question, is this space, is this message of, hey, men, you're not shit. Hey, men, you can do something. Hey, men, you're allowed to have preferences. Are these messages that dangerous in the eyes of the establishment, whatever, the Illuminati, whatever group? Is that message that dangerous?
I would say yes. I would say yes, it is. Yes, it is, because it's influencing a lot of people. It's influencing, let me be specific. It's influencing a lot of men to take a stand, right? Now, to what detriment is it going to lead up to? I don't think men are going to just be out here just like really hating women or something like that.
I don't either.
I think what you're going to have is men are setting their standards by saying, you know what, I understand the thought and I understand what type of wife that I want. So I'm going to have fun with the girl who wants to be the city girl, but I'm going to take this one over here that's more serious, that's catering towards me. So that's what you're going to start to get. And I think that the women are starting to notice that. But hey, don't tell the men that they don't have to settle for the hoe that wants to be a housewife because she's going to get ran through. Tell the men that, all the girls are princesses and whatever you pick that girl, she's just going to be that special lady. And the guys are looking like, nah, that's not the truth.
Right. And that's why, I'm kind of with Mike as well, saying it is more about the message than the flashiness. But I don't think it's necessarily that whoever they is, think that it's going to turn men into these savage beasts. They're going to, like, these ideas are not new. We are at a time in history where there's just a lot of firsts happening. We have the first YouTube came in this is only a few years ago. Some of you that are younger may not remember a world before this, may not know a world before this, but all this stuff having such a level of a platform was relegated to the news channels and people who could attend the Bilderberg meeting. Everybody else, you just read what was in the paper and watch what was on the news, and that's it. And so I think the democratization of information, along with the focus that this again, I hate the labels, but whatever you want to call it, the manosphere, the red pill space, I think it's inspiring people not to hate women, but to break out of the programming that has a lot to do with how women got their position in society where it stands today. But it's not about the women specifically. It's about keeping the men weak so that they can be the power. I don't need no man. I got the government.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how long that's going to last with a lot of women. I saw a video about the artificial womb, and I say, man, that's going to be pretty interesting in the years to come.
Yeah, and no freedoms. I think I don't know. I hope he's not talking for himself, but he might be talking for them, saying you do realize we don't want you to own anything. We want your bank accounts, cars, houses, phones, everything, and everything in between. to not be owned by you. Everything will be held by government hands. Yep, that's exactly what they're looking for. Where are my mods? I'm looking at my mods. Mike says, we believe white men are dangerous. The establishment. Yep. And so that's why, come on, guys. Who's, I was going to say, I just gave somebody a new mod, but it's you. You up here. You good. I think that makes a lot of sense. Is there an angle of this that you've thought of that you haven't seen people talking about?
It's not that it's an angle. This didn't surprise me. I did a YouTube short of me having a Little Caesars pizza, and then I clipped it over to Andrew Tate's pizza box, and he was saying how he got arrested. So I threw my Little Caesars pizza away. I was like, nah, they're not getting me. I don't think by me watching most of his streams and him talking about what's going to happen and how he's not going to take himself out, this is not at all a surprise to me. What I did remember saying was there is going to be someone coming after him because he's being too arrogant. The government systems, right? They don't like you to be arrogant. And I can only speak so much about it. My friends that are in the military, they keeping a watch on everybody. And when I say they keeping a watch on you guys, I'm talking about laptops, cell phones, like everything that we have is like tracking devices. Every keystroke that you do, like, so they're monitoring everyone. They just have certain red alerts and red targets on certain people. So it is at no surprise to me that they just want to make an example out of him because I think they realize how intelligent he is and they just want to muffle that.
Bingo. I think you hit the nail on the head. And real quick though, Melanie said, I wouldn't be surprised if Jeffree Star's tweets got deleted. Well, I was like, I want to find these. And Melanie said, you should see, and she quoted, you should see what they're doing to Andrew Tate. So I type in Jeffree Star, Andrew Tate, and there are no results.
Wow.
Not a one. So Melanie, you got that one on point. Freedom's looking at sex robots. I mean, I guess that would make things a lot easier. I don't know how that would do for the cam girl business, but you have fun with that, sir. Mike says, I believe strong men are safe. The establishment believes weak men are safe. I think the only thing that I would change out of that is they don't think that weak men are safe. Not for us.
Mm-hmm.
They're safe for them. Weak men, weak people are easy to control.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. I don't know. So, I mean, if anybody else wants to come up, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. If not, we can head over to Discord. But Darshan, is there anything else that you want to share with the people on the topic before I give you the floor?
What I would say is to those of you who are trying to become like financially successful, it's not necessary for you to show off your house and your cars. It's only going to bring more attention to you. Actually, it's going to make people actually come after you and start asking you for money and everything like that. So, I mean, aspire to be comfortable, aspire to be rich, but you don't have to show it off on the internet. It will cause the wrong eyeballs,
Beautiful. And on the way out, let everybody know where they can find you one more time. Floor
Actually,
is
guys,
yours.
Go to darshanmcaway.com and check out all my business endeavors. And if you want to be a part of my podcast, just send me an email. Let's get you on. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about some trending topics. Let's talk about your business. Let's talk about your books. The IndianJesus, thank you so much for having me on, man. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. And guys, this is a legit ass successful author. He's got a whole bunch of different shit out there.
Yeah.
Businesses up the ass, his own condoms, his own cologne,
wine,
watches. What else you got?
Watches.
What else you got?
Let's see. We got two podcast businesses. We got the wine, we got the watches, we got the cologne, we got a clothing line, we got the underwear line. And then we got some other side business that I don't even talk about.
So there you go. This man can definitely help you out. He is a great streamer and very successful guy. So check him out. Thank you so much, Darshan. You saved my life here, and I appreciate it. You have a good one. So there is a lot here. There's a lot here, but there's also kind of not a lot here. My whole thing, those of you know who Dr. Evil Genius is from the Talking Shit podcast, he asked me yesterday to hop on and, Andrew Tate just got arrested. We gotta talk about this. I'm like, okay, what is there to talk about? And so I wanted to wait. So I waited. The fact that we don't have any information is information in and of itself. The fact that we don't have and No Freedom says, am I too old to make a lot of money? Well, I know exactly what Andrew Tate would say. Hell no, it is never too late. But yeah, the fact that we see stuff like this, that's information. That shows me that clearly there's some fuckery afoot. Clearly, they are doing something. I don't know who they are, and I don't know what they're doing. But I know that this is what they do when they get a laptop that can change an election, and they pretend that it's not allowed. That's what we're dealing with. I wish that I could bring to you guys, the police report and break this down and be like, look, this says this, so that doesn't make sense here. We'll do that and whatever. And maybe we will do that. But right now, they are keeping this under wraps. Keep it under wraps. So I mean, there's just I wish there was more. I'm guessing that you guys are a little too afraid to give your real opinions out here on YouTube. So I'm gonna run to Discord, and I expect to see you there. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out. I know this was a shorter show than usual, but I expected you guys to come and talk, but nobody wanted to. If you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button on your way in or way out, either way, that is one of the biggest things that will help these parties grow. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out. Again, the party rages on. The Discord is free to join for right now. It is free. The link is in the description. That is exactly where we are going. And that's fair enough. Nobody is watching the Discord. So if you're on a list or whatever, I'm the only person that, and we're the only people that could see in the Discord what is in the Discord. So that is our safe space that we can use to talk about whatever we want. So I know there's a lot here that we can't really talk about on YouTube, but those are the facts that we have so far. Those are the facts. There's not many, and there is a lot of weird stuff going on. So we got to keep what they. They're always watching. But Mike says, one person pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. Another pretends to be poor, yet has great wealth. Which person would you rather be, guys? Which person would you rather be? The one who's flashing everything around and ending up in a Romanian prison? Or hanging out in your own home, chilling with your family? So that's up to you guys. But again, thank you so much for hanging out. I imagine that we will have more to discuss as the story continues. But for right now, I could sit here and waste your time, but I don't want to do that, and you don't want me to do that. So let's head over to Discord and have a much spicier conversation. Exactly. No, Sean saying I'll stay home, and shit, I said mean too. With that, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. If you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. You know I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m., but sometimes I'll come on whenever I feel like it. So make sure that you are subscribed, and you will never, ever miss another Indian Jesus party. Thank you so much. Once again, I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I am out of here. Peace.